This strange creature was unknown until it was spotted, first by fishermen off the coast of Indonesia in the 1990s. It looked like an octopus, but it could morph its shape in an instant to appear as seemingly any animal around it. At first, no one had any idea what it was.
The first time I saw it, I just was blown away. You couldn't get a more spectacular animal. It really is the pinnacle of wizardry.
Biologist Mark Norman was the first scientist to study this seemingly shapeless creature. He named it the mimic octopus.
It pulls all its arms around behind its body and swims along like a poisonous flatfish called a banded sole. In other cases, if it's getting attacked, it puts 6 arms down a hole and raises the other 2 arms to look like a poisonous sea snake that has bands along its body. If that's not enough, it'll swim along looking like a poisonous lionfish with these banded arms looking like the banded spines that come off these very deadly fish.
So far, 15 separate species are known to be in the mimic octopus act, and Norman is not always sure exactly what the mimic is doing. He observed this mimic scuttling along the sea bottom, looking something like a furry turkey with human legs. Starting over 540 million years ago, in the Cambrian period, life exploded into an encyclopedia of shapes.
A whole bunch of body shapes that have never existed before suddenly appear. All of a sudden, there are body parts that never existed, things like shells.
The nautilus, with its elegant ringed shell, is today's reminder of those first shelled creatures. Tough enough to discourage small predators, it could move fast enough to evade bigger hunters that might swallow it whole.
The nautilus shape is very aerodynamic. By jetting out water, it can actually jet backwards well over 15 miles an hour in short bursts.
These are cuttlefish. They appeared around the same time as sharks 400 million years ago. They were like a nautilus, grown naked, without their shell. Their tough cartilage spine, the cuttlebone, helped propel them through the water.
By not being bound inside of a shell, they were able to squeeze into tighter crevices. Their body was very gelatinous in nature. They were able to crawl into rocks, crawl into caves, actively hunt in areas that nobody was able to hunt before.
This advantage was offset by their defenseless form. Without their shells, cuttlefish evolved an astounding ability to hide in plain sight.
Cuttlefish are hardwired, genetically driven to camouflage on any visual background we give them.
Scientists have long known that cuttlefish skin changes on signals from its brain.
It's quite amazing. It's sort of electric skin in the sense that there are millions of these little pigmented cells in the body, and they would create the illusion of passing bands and clouds across the skin.
The smart skin system can fool a predator in 2 ways, creating a close match to the background, or a pattern that disrupts recognition of the shape of the cuttlefish.
When you swim around in these areas, there's no protection, no reef, no coral cover, and the only other animals that are out during the day on these sand plains are covered in spines or are poisonous.
For the evolving mimic, the flip side of survival of the fittest was death to bad actors.
No predators will allow a bad mimic to live more than about 3 minutes. These animals have evolved into such tight mimics because they have such bad critics.